The second a man tells me, I wish I could be more of what I'm out.
I put you over all my friends. You know, I tell them that. I let them know that.
A red flag for women is being boy crazy.
That can be dangerous for women. You know what I mean? Dame's fucking insane, man. Why would you trust some random guy?
Farting is a big part of a lot of people's lives.
It's huge, especially yours. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, guys, we're back once again. This is our official second episode back. We were gone for a while, and now we're back. We're going to be talking about being best friends with your partner. You know, because for us, being best friends is really important. I need to be friends with the person I'm dating, or else I just, I couldn't do it. I need to have like similar interests and things in common and things we can bond over.
Yeah.
Is that important for you too?
That's super. I don't feel like I could be with somebody that wasn't my best friend first.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I got a lot going on. I'm one of those people, I got a lot going on. Onions have layers. So I feel
That's
like
true.
I'm one of those people. And
complex.
Yeah. And I don't think I could just date a guy and get to know a guy. I think I would already have to know a guy.
Yeah.
Because growing up, there's been a lot of men around me, and a lot of them I trusted, but the ones that I didn't trust really scarred me. So I inherently don't think I trust men's intentions as it pertains to dating. So it's very important for me to be friends with a man before I'm ever romantic with him. I don't think I'm a hookup girl. As much as I think I could be that edgy, I met a guy at the club and I hooked up with him.
That's not your vibe.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been good close friends with any of my other girlfriends.
Really?
It was really just us.
I've only ever been friends with my boyfriends, I guess. Only ever, exclusively.
Well, you were a girl that hung out with all guys, right?
Yeah,
you were
but I wasn't
a guy friend.
Yeah,
girl.
I was a guy friend girl, but I wasn't I don't have any girlfriends because girlfriends are drama. I wasn't like that.
You sure?
Yeah,
okay.
I had girls. I had homegirls too.
Yeah,
but I just gravitated easier with guy groups because I was
up
never
with brothers.
Really, I had.
Stuff, yeah.
I have two brothers. I was never
sense.
really girly. I never wore dresses or skirts or anything like that in school. Not to say that every girl does, but I just wasn't. Really, the reason I didn't have a lot of girlfriends growing up was because I had bad relationships with women in my life that were supposed to love me.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult for me to learn how to engage with other women. And I had homegirls in high school and stuff like that, but it was maybe 3 at a time, ever, and because of that, I was always nervous as it pertained to interacting with other women because they were family members. Not my mom, she's the best, but I had aunts and stuff that I felt would berate me and break me down. So I never got to a place where I could trust women growing up. So now I ain't got no guy friends except for one, my homie Swag. Shout out to him. He's the GOAT.
Shout out.
But other than that, my entire friend group is women because now as a woman that's come into my own, I know how to connect with women without feeling like I'm competing with them or being scared of them. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that makes complete sense. You kind of got traumatized by the women in your life, so you're that was your perception of women, starting out. And I think that I had women friends, that were just my friends, but I never ended up dating them. They were just my friends.
I'm sure they wanted to date you.
Maybe. I don't know. But I don't have a lot of friends that are girls now. I mean, I have maybe one or two,
I think I'd feel a way about I think I would feel a way about it. Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, yeah, because you don't, like you said, you don't have a bunch of guy friends or people that you're, constantly hanging out with who are men and stuff like that, because that would make me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. For sure. That's a whole different topic. You know what I mean? We can get into it.
Can guys and girls be platonic friends?
Yeah. And I think they can. I just think that once you get into a relationship, there's boundaries that get created immediately.
Yeah.
And so you should always put your relationship first.
Right.
Before any of your friendships, I think. But you should be with somebody worthy of putting first over your friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you should, what, does that sound weird?
No, I'm listening. I'm trying to compute on how I feel about it.
Well, no, you should be with somebody that, is right for you.
Okay.
And then you can put them above any friendship or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I guess it depends on what you mean. am I dating you off rip? And you're like, well,
Not,
you have to
it's not,
earn
yeah, well, it's
being
not,
more important than my friends.
no. I'm just saying, like, once you guys get to a certain level, you should want to put your partner first, you know what I mean,
Oh.
over your friendships and things like that. And it's not like it's like a competition. I'm not saying that you have to at some point choose one or the other, but you know, if one of your friends doesn't like your partner, you know, that's not a good, you know, that's
what
not
would
a
you
good
do
thing.
if one of your friends didn't like me?
I'd be like, that's your issue, bro. So then it looks like we're not going to hang out anymore.
Oh, really?
Because there's going to be times where I want to bring her around and I don't want to deal with that. And I'm not going to sit here and let you badmouth her. Like, if you say something bad about her, I'm going to like knock you out. So that's not a good situation. You know what I mean? Like I put you over all my friends, you know, I tell them that. I let them know that there's been times where I told them that, you know.
What was the circumstance?
I don't know. I just like, we're just talking about relationships and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna let you know, like, she's first, you know what I mean? Like, overall, you guys, sorry, love you guys, but you know, she's first, but luckily they all love you, you know, so it worked out. But I think it is important to, if you have friends who are the opposite sex and you get into a relationship, those boundaries should immediately be put up, and there should be respect on both sides of it. You know, like if you're a guy and you start dating a girl, and you have friends that are women, they should respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the women friend should respect that and be respectful and like make sure that you're not pushing any boundaries or anything, because it's like he's not dating you for a reason. You know, you guys are just friends, whatever. So there shouldn't be any type of inappropriate text messages or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
And if somebody is your friend, quote unquote, and they're of the opposite sex and they're pushing that boundary, or they're constantly, you know, in that line of, do they like you or do they not like you, or, you know, you need to cut it out, cut that off. Yeah.
I think it depends though. Like this might be shady and shitty, but if you had a girlfriend, like if you had a homegirl and she had a crush on you, but she wasn't like a threat to me, like I didn't really think that she was your type and she's not like all that hot or attractive, then it wouldn't bother me. But if she's a baddie, but like if she's your type,
I wouldn't want to be hanging out.
No.
I wouldn't want to be hanging out with a girl who possibly likes me and I'm in a relationship. You
what
know
if
what
she's
I mean?
not at
I
all your
wouldn't want
type?
to do that. Still though,
really?
What's the point of that?
You guys are friends.
Yeah, but
like,
she doesn't want to be friends. She likes me more.
She likes you, but she's also fine with being a friend. Like I could be friends with a guy who had a crush on me that I wasn't into and would never be into, and I could still have that relationship, but I wouldn't like.
It's still a weird dynamic though. It has to be a mutual friendship. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, yeah, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It shouldn't be somebody who's like, was at one point trying to pursue you, or is like still kind of throwing hints of pursuing you, you know?
Oh, that's
inappropriate.
Different.
That's just, and I think that them having feelings for you is inappropriate too, if you're in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's like, for me, I don't think you can control how other people feel. So I understand wanting to cut them out.
Well, as long as they don't act upon it or something, if they don't cross that, like I said, there has to be a boundary made. And if they don't cross that boundary, but then they still like have feelings for you, whatever. But
what about in my last relationship where you had feelings for me and you were not like really hiding it?
Yeah, but I didn't cross a boundary. I didn't cross any boundaries.
You don't think you did? He told me one time that you were like, Asia's so cool, man. You're so lucky.
Oh,
she's so great. Yeah.
He said that? Well, yeah, but I think that was me just being like, just kind of like being like, you're a lucky dude, you know what I mean? But
who the hell would say that, Grant?
That's true. I don't really remember saying it like that.
He told me that's what you said.
Yeah, maybe I did say that. But I said, I think I was just like, she's awesome. You know what I mean? Because we were really good friends. That's how we started. We started as you know, close friends. But there was boundaries and I was respectable of it.
Okay,
you know what I mean? I never tried to pursue you. I never tried to like cross those lines or anything like that.
Okay, we'll go with that story. I like that story.
I didn't, right? For the most part.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, we never crossed a boundary because I'm not a cheater.
Yeah. We never crossed a boundary and I was like doing my own thing, you know. I wasn't like stuck on you or something, you know?
Yeah, that was obvious. Y'all, he was bouncing from girl to girl. It was so annoying.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
There was this one
She
time.
loves bringing. Oh no, she loves bringing this up.
One time, Grant and I had gone to this like coworker party. He no longer worked with us, but he used to be a coworker, a mutual coworker. And we had all gone to some restaurant in Santa Monica. And I was like, hey, do you want to come with me? And you were like, yeah, I'll come. And everybody, when they saw us show up together, they were like, oh my God, Asia, you're with Grant. You're here with Grant. Oh my God. And the whole time we were at dinner, Grant turned his back on me to talk to some other girl. Were
you dating
Grant?
That other dude?
What does it matter? Still? You came with me.
I know, but
the perception was, what does it matter?
Yeah, but were you still dating?
I don't
know.
I
want to get the timeline right. No.
I don't know. We were probably on the fritz.
Okay.
But like the point is,
yeah,
I brought him as not my date, but my companion. And he didn't say a thing to me all night, was all in this girl's face. Every time I think about him,
I can't live that. I'll never live that
down. He'll never live
that
down. Because I was like,
that was what, like 10 years ago? Something like that.
Does that matter?
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings.
It's crazy to think how long ago that was.
You hurt my feelings. But it's important to me that we're best friends because I can fully be myself around you. And like I've talked, I'm a tutor. I toot.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to have to we be tooting. I don't want to have one of those boyfriends that wants me to be so perfect that I couldn't have any flaws. I've done some really embarrassing stuff around Grant, guys. I wish I could tell you about it.
Now there's studies about the farting in front of each other thing. You've
really?
seen that?
No.
I mean, I saw it. It's like a meme I saw, but I believe it. You know what I mean? It's like couples who fart in front of each other are like 70% more happier than
I believe it.
You know, people who don't. Because I mean, that's like you have to hide such a huge part of your life.
Farting is a big part of a lot of people's lives.
It's huge. Especially yours. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They're not that big. But no, it is it is a huge part. Like and it's you know, I guess embarrassing or whatever, but if you can be and do embarrassing things in front of your partner, you know, that's where you want to get to.
Yeah.
To where it's not
I don't feel like I'm embarrassed with you at all. I think my issue in our relationship is I am a hyper oversharer. Like I can't not tell you things. If anything happens to me, if a guy hits on me, anybody talks to me, if I trip on a rock, anything.
Grave detail.
I have to tell him about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I think it's like, I feel like if I don't tell you everything, I'm lying to you.
Yeah. And I think it is that. And then it's like you don't have a filter. It's just kind of, it goes straight from your brain and you have to get it out. Or else,
I do.
I guess maybe that's interesting actually to explore. Like, do you feel like it is because of, you feel like you're lying if you don't say every little detail of the story? Or even like if, you know, something like that happens and it brings on some sort of guilt in you, you have to get it off your chest. Is that what it is?
I have to get things off my chest. I think it's multi-layered.
Yeah.
I think it's multi-layered. And honestly, this is where I think it comes from. When I was in middle school, I was friends with these two girls, Stasia and Shay. And I think that was her name. Ray. Okay. Yeah. Stasia and Ray. And we were like really close friends. And I was super jealous of this girl. I was super jealous of Ray. So I would like talk shit about her behind her back to everybody, to like her other friends, to just anybody that would listen. I was jealous that she was popular. I was jealous that she was pretty. So I would go behind her back and like talk shit about her. And this one girl, snitching ass, I don't remember her name, but this one girl, I was talking to her about it on the track and I was just complaining. And she went back and told Ray everything that I had said about her.
Damn.
And Ray called me out in front of everybody in class. And I literally felt like I was going to like shit myself. And I was burning up. You know, when you get anxious, you just immediately get hot.
You have to like poop and throw up. And
I had to poop. I had to throw up. I was sweating. I needed a cold bath. I was dying.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know. I said some really gay something. I was like, you know, I really understand who you are. It was really weird. I was weird. I was so weird. And
trying to get yourself out of it.
But in a romantic way, I was a weird.
I love you.
Yeah.
You're just like,
I was
fuck it. There's
weird.
no turning back.
Yeah, I was so weird. And so that taught me that I'm never going to get caught talking shit about somebody or saying something behind their back without being willing to say that same thing to their face.
Yeah.
So it made me not want to hide anything ever from anybody. So, and then growing up too, like with my family, anytime I would do something that I didn't think was a big deal, it would turn into this big blow up of like, what the hell is wrong with you? You not dumb or stupid, but just like you're sneaky and you're this and you're that.
Yeah.
So I think
You never want to be perceived as
being
that.
called sneaky growing up when I didn't feel like that was a reflection of me at all,
Yeah.
really shaped me into being a massive oversharer.
Mm.
So I overshare everything because I'm terrified that if I don't give somebody, it's like a subconscious thing, right? It's like deep in my upbringing.
Well, yeah, you're definitely not sneaky or secretive or anything like that.
But that's my thing, though, is because I grew up with so many people telling me that I was like conniving and sneaky, even though I didn't think that I was. I feel like I constantly have to overshare so that I'm never put in a position
where
I have
I'm not. See, this happened.
I become so open because the last thing I want to do is atone for a sin I didn't even know I was sinning.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing.
I know.
You know, oversharing. Because sometimes you overshare and you give too much detail of how you're feeling. And, you know, when you're upset, you really go off with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but I would rather you be the type of person who just gets it all off your chest than somebody who holds it in and doesn't share enough. And then, you know, it can turn into like deep resentment and things like that. Being passive, like you are like the furthest thing from passive aggressive. You know what I mean?
You think?
Yeah.
I'm pretty petty. Isn't being petty passive aggressive?
No, there's a difference. I think there's a difference because like, yes, you're petty, but you're explaining exactly why you're being petty. You know what I mean? It's not like this like silent treatment or something where, you know, I don't know why you're upset. I know exactly why you're upset because you've voiced it, you know, you've vocalized it. But then, yes, you can be petty during that, you know. I'm trying to remember if like you were like that when we were just friends, if you were like a oversharer. I don't think so.
No.
I think you needed to get really like deep and connected before you start like sharing every little thing. Because I mean, but that's the thing though, because I feel like when we were just friends, our conversations and things weren't just like surface level boring conversations, you know. I think that's why I really felt connected to you quickly.
Yeah.
Because we would have like real conversations and we, you know, like we were saying before, we shared so many of this same interest and we were into the same things. We loved art and music and all these different things.
Yeah.
And we were able to like work with each other on things and collaborate and do all these amazing things together, you know. And I think that just built our connection so quickly.
Me too.
Yeah. And that laid the foundation for our relationship. Was a great friendship.
I think so too. And I think that I have to be friends with a guy because, and this is no secret, right? My dad was very unfaithful to my mom. And so for me, there's no way that I could start a relationship with a guy without knowing everything about his personality, everything about his character, everything about his upbringing, because I'm not trying to be played with like that in that way. And I don't want to be betrayed in that way. And because of that, that's why I am so open with you. That's why I share so much with you, because over time you proved to me that you love me as unconditionally as somebody that's not blood related to you can love you. And that's why I'm able to share so much of myself with you, because if that wasn't the case, I'd be hiding from you. Like, I don't think there's anything I've ever done in our relationship that you're just like, oh, you disgust me. I hate that about you.
No.
You know, and I've never felt scared of you or your actions. And I have to be in a place with somebody that feels safe,
full trust,
in order to progress with them in any way. It's not really the same thing with friendships, but with relationships,
I think that's the best way to go. And you make a really good point. I feel like with women especially, you should really know the guy that you're about to start dating or about to, you know, commit something like that to, because you don't want to start dating a psycho, or you want to see how they are, because you like before we were dating, you saw me around my family, you saw, you know, me around some of my best friends from my, you know, my childhood best friends. You really saw me before we started dating. You saw every aspect of me.
Yeah.
So you had a really good gauge on who I was as a person. You know, it was obvious that there wasn't any weird thing that I was hiding or anything like that, like any type of weird personality I was hiding. And I think that can be dangerous for women.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm like just thinking about that. I'm like, Dame's fucking insane, man. Like, why would you trust some random guy?
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
men are scary.
Yeah,
Men are
I get
honestly
it. I
really
get it.
scary.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I know that this is probably going to cause an uproar,
Mhm.
but it is very difficult for women to date. And I'm not saying that there's not scary women out there, but as a whole, like, one of my favorite tweets online is when some guy said, if there were no men, who would protect the women? And a woman responds, from who?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
from
who?
Yeah, from who?
Literally from who?
Yeah.
And it's important for me to surround myself with men that I fully trust, because that can go south so quickly when they don't get their way. And I'm not the strongest person in the world. Like, even with you, I can't even hand wrestle you.
Yeah.
Your thumb is stronger than the arm, than the strength I have in my entire arm.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I think about that, it puts it into perspective just how much I love you and just how much I trust you, because your strength far outweighs mine.
Yeah.
And I have to be safe around you because you're so much stronger than me.
Yeah.
And a lot of the men in my life are so much stronger than me. And it's important as a woman to surround yourself with men that you can fully trust, which I think is difficult in general.
And you've seen all sides of.
I've seen all sides of you.
Yeah, before you trust
Like,
them.
I don't think I could date a guy. I don't think I could just date a guy. I'm not the type of person that could just date a guy off Hinge or Bumble or anything like that.
Or it's like, it would have to be like a extensive vetting process.
It would be a long time.
Yeah. Because
It'd be a really long time.
we were friends for what, like 2 years?
At least, yeah, 2
before
years.
we started dating. So, there was a long vetting process, and I think that we connected right away, though, I would say. So that connection was pretty obvious and clear, and obviously you don't know somebody's intentions right away, but you got a pretty good gauge of who I was as a guy.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, over time you were like, oh, this is who this person is. And so you let me in more, and we would hang out and do all these things.
What kind of advice would you give to women who are trying to find a good guy? Like, what are some things as a man, what are
for
some
women
red
to look
flags
out
in
for?
other men? Like, what is your red flag as a man? When you see another man, what's something you're like, this guy's a piece of shit. 100% that guy's a douche.
I think if they're overly aggressive, or, the way that they talk about women is like a very specific way, like vulgar. If they're really vulgar and really, that, because I'm in the music industry, and I just remember this one guy who was like the ideal, or not the ideal, but the epitome of just scummy record label guy, and the way he was talking to me and my buddy was like, he was just so vulgar and like just being so sexual, like talking, and I just met the guy, so like you can gauge it like that. If they're talking about things like that off rip, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty obvious. And there's a difference between guys who are taking a risk at like comedy, being funny and comedic. And there's a difference between them not being funny, but they're saying things that are just like crass and off top, but it's just not working. It's not hitting, So you can pretty much tell. I think women are smart. The majority of them are pretty smart, and you can tell, and I think like guys, we've talked about it before, but guys who are like super good looking, super like obvious that they were, the most popular kid at school, things like that, they're probably a player.
Yeah.
They probably got multiple girls that they're talking to, you know what I mean? And that's not that crazy of a, that's not that much of a hot take. It's pretty obvious. But I think that, I don't know though, because I mean, I think there are some guys who can shield it pretty well, or like hide it pretty well.
That's the scary part for a lot of women, is that men are really good at pretending that they're not.
That's true, but I think a lot of guys who are like that are cocky, and so they will show it, but it'll be subtle.
Yeah.
It'll be subtle. It'll be like a little comment that they say, and you're like, that was a little off. You know what I mean? Like, that was a little out of character. I think just looking for little things like that, like little out of character things, because you can usually tell if somebody just said something that, they didn't mean, or they were trying to be funny, or, and if they're apologetic about it too, is usually like, a good sign for the
Yeah.
most part, you know, if they really do seem sincere about it.
For me, the number one red flag I can tell a man is not a good guy
Mm-hmm.
is how much time he spends trying to convince you he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like the men that
that
are like,
too.
I'm a nice guy. Why
Yeah.
is this happening to me? Why doesn't she like me? I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy.
Mhm.
Who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself?
Yeah.
Because men that talk about who they are and what they are often aren't.
That's so funny. I gotta share a quick story.
Okay.
So there was a guy that me and my friend who I work a lot with, he's like one of my, you know, close friends, close client, whatever. And we were having like a dinner with this guy, and he's a guy that we were potentially gonna do like some work with or something. You know, we were kind of talking business, things like that. And the guy the entire time is just like, yeah, bro, you know what? Like, I don't even like talking business with my homies. Like, we're just, you know, we're just vibing, we're just chilling. You know, I want to get to know you on a personal level and
Right.
things like that, you know. And he said things like that. And he's like, you know, that's family, that's family, that's family. And it came off almost inauthentic because he was really pushing that the whole time. Like he was like trying to he was trying to convince us.
Around me.
Yeah, it was almost like he was trying to convince us. And then it was funny because the first thing he did when he left was text my homie about some business. You know what I mean? He didn't like hit him like being like, oh, I had a great time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was immediately about business. But yeah, so I mean, but you were talking about red flags and men. Yeah, trying to convince
the guys
people.
that are on constantly like,
I'm a good guy.
I'm a good guy. Why don't women like me? And they put themselves in this victimized situation or perspective. And that's a big turnoff to women. No woman is ever going to get with a guy that's over here complaining about, why don't women like me? Because we've had people in our DMs before, right? Trauma dumping on us about, oh my God, women don't like me and I'm so nice to her and I did this and I did that. Why don't she like me? I don't know, bro, because she doesn't like you. She's not obligated to like you. Move on, you know? And I think that it's really, it can be dangerous for women to entertain the guy that's a nice guy. Because if he's telling you how nice he is, I just think it's a cover up for his cruelty.
And he's probably
100%.
Convinced himself that he's a nice guy. So he's
that's
like,
the worst.
So he can get away with things.
Yeah.
You know, he can do something and be like, oh my God, that's so not me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did that.
100%.
So out of character.
And even like with you, you're not like that. You're a great guy. You're a great man.
Great man.
Great man.
Yeah.
Great man, the great man.
Great man. Great man, the great man. Okay.
You're absolutely wonderful. But there have been times in our relationship where it's hard for me to get you to understand that you did something offensive or not nice or that I interpreted as mean.
Yeah.
Because in your head also, you don't have bad intentions. So I think that that's an issue, and not just with men, but there are people out there who don't have bad intentions. So when they do something wrong, they refuse to believe that it was interpreted wrong because that's not what they meant. Like, I don't care what you meant. This is what happened though. You know, you might not have meant what you said, but what you said made me feel like this. Well, that's not what I meant. Okay, well, I'm not asking you to take accountability for what you meant. I'm asking you to take accountability for how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And so there's been that type of situation in our relationship. And I think that happens a lot where people hide behind their intention and never want to apologize for their actions.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I understand what you were saying about, because sometimes I think I can get caught up in the nice guy thing, and it almost becomes a defense mechanism. And so I use that as like, why are we even arguing about this? Like, I'm a good guy. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, you're treating me like I'm some like bad guy here, but then I'm using that to like kind of slide my way out of the conversation or slide my way out of the argument.
But you're not a dangerous guy, and that's the difference.
Yeah. And then, but the thing is, I can like literally, I can clock that and I can take accountability, and that's the difference. Like, there are some people who they're just like, I'm a good guy. What are you like? How dare you? You know, and then they can never take accountability for their actions. So I think you have to take accountability, you know.
My advice to women is don't let up. Don't let up. When a guy is like, oh, I'm so nice. Do not let him convince you that what you're experiencing is not real just because he's a nice guy and he's done nice things for you. Yeah,
like you said before, like he just has this long list of oh, like I was screwed over here for whatever reason, or like this person screwed me over. That's a big red flag too. When somebody is just constantly like has a lot to say about other people in their lives, screwing them over. It's like, you seem to be the common problem here with all these people. Like, why are all of these people just have like a hive mindset of like they're all horrible people and they all did you wrong? You know what I mean? It sounds like you're not taking accountability for at least one or two of these situations.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. If a person is like that, where they don't get along with all of these different people for whatever reason,
Right.
or all these other people are out to get them, or whatever the way that they portray it, there's an issue there.
And I think for women, a red flag in women.
Oh yeah,
is
yeah. I was gonna say let's go to the women now.
Okay.
Yeah.
A red flag for women is being boy crazy. Tell me why you're a grown ass woman over here tripping about some loser. I don't get it. Like, I can't be around the type of women that frame their entire being around the male gaze. And basically what the male gaze is presenting yourself consistently in a way that men desire. So a pick me, essentially.
Yeah.
Is living her life for the male gaze because she's doing things that pander to men that make them happy, but she's not getting picked anyway.
And that's like her whole personality.
That's her whole personality. Is I would never talk to my man. Okay, well, that's you. I'm going to talk crazy and I'm going to get what I need for my relationship.
I'm going to talk crazy. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you should just be yourself, you know, and like those women try to be whoever these men want them to be.
Yeah. And I can't be friends with somebody that's super, super obsessed with men. And it's also really difficult for me to be friends with somebody that has constant poor relationships with men. Because it's exhausting for me.
Yeah.
And luckily none of my homegirls are like that, but I have had homegirls in the past where everything about them is centered around what they aren't getting from a man or what they are getting from a man. And I'm like, girl, who are you? Who are you outside of this man? Right.
Maybe if you worked on yourself.
Put
some time
Oh
in.
my God. And the girls who fall for the whole thing where it's like, I'm just not ready for you. I'm not the type of guy that's ready for you. I was talking to my cousin yesterday, love her, and she's dating this guy, and he keeps telling her like, I'm just not ready for you. I wish I was in a better place. I wish I was the type of man that like you deserved because I would wipe you up. Because
wipe you. That's love.
That's love because I would wife you up.
Yeah.
If y'all are still falling for that okie doke, I do not know what to tell you. Like, if a man tells you to your face, I wish I was the type of man that would be the right guy for you because I like you so much and I want to lock you down and I want to show you everything you leave him.
Yeah.
Why y'all even stand for that spiel? I don't know.
Yeah.
Leave him. The second a man tells me, I wish I could be more of what I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not finna spend time.
It sounds like a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Of like,
it's code for, I want to get the benefit of being with you, but I don't want to like have the responsibility
I don't
want
to like have to like change or put the work in.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Man gonna change for me. Yeah. I said the other day, somebody's like,
but let's go back to women because we went right back to men.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about women.
Okay, but you said if a guy says this to the women. Oh, I guess you tied it back to women
who fall for that
who fall
type
for
of thing.
Got you.
I can't be friends with women who are hyper centered around men.
I saw a term used. It was in a meme, so I don't know if it's a real term.
Okay.
But I'm asking you if you've heard of this. Have you heard of hobosexual? It's when you love the security of having somewhere to live. Instead of that's why you date somebody, is because of the security of having somewhere to live.
Yes, I've seen that.
Is that a real word?
It's
hobosexual.
It's like an internet term.
Okay.
So it typically, in my experience, refers to men who will date whoever they can. That'll let them sleep on their couch or sleep in their bed.
Yeah,
but I mean, it goes both
ways. For
like
financial security, basically.
It goes both ways.
But I saw it was saying like a it gave like this stat. They did a study saying that women now, like 30% of women now or something, are hobosexual now. What? And like their main attraction to men now is that they have a place to live.
Oh my God.
Or they have financial security it's basically that.
Oh, see, I see that as different. Like I guess it depends on the
That's what I'm
quality of
saying.
man that you're homosexualing
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
But
But
if
that's
you're
the
a baddie, if
that's
you're
the
like,
top like reason of why they would want to date somebody.
I mean, if you're a Miami baddie, right? You BBL'd out.
I was like, where did they take this
and you got
study
the
in
bag, right?
Miami?
And you're dating a
Yeah.
guy with money and funds. That's not. I don't find that to be homosexual. I think that that's a sugar baby, which is fine.
Well, that's basically what.
But
That's
if
like
you're
what
not
the
getting
study
any
is saying.
perks out of it, like if you're just staying with some guy.
Well, you get like, I'm sure you get some type of security, you know, whether it's
That's
like
a sugar
you get a
baby.
place to live, you probably don't have to pay for anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're probably not getting like extravagant things, you know what I mean? Because most men can't pay for fucking Louis bags every weekend, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I saw that, but I just saw the term and I was like, I've never heard of that term.
Yeah.
Hobosexual.
Yeah. I've seen it before.
You've seen that?
I
Okay.
love that term.
I thought it was a joke.
No,
but
it's
but then
real.
it said like a study for it
I
and
can't
things
believe
like
there's
that.
a study for that.
Yeah, I guess they did. There's a study for everything.
There's a study for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like.
But we were talking about women and their faults. Because I don't want to I don't want to just go straight.
We're not
back
bashing men.
Yeah, I don't want to just bash the bros.
I just can't have a friendship with a woman that doesn't center herself.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is. Like, you're allowed to love your man and cater to your man or whatever, but when your man becomes your entire identity, I can't be friends with a woman like that.
That's just an unhealthy way to like get in a relationship or find a partner.
Do you feel like I'm like that though? Because we have a
No.
relationship podcast. I feel like I'm totally.
You are like 100% yourself, you know? And I think that you're with somebody who lets you be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you should find somebody who wants you to be like fully you. Because they love you for you.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you
So
for
cute.
you.
I love you for you.
Yeah. So you want to be with somebody who, I think that there's a difference between us having a lot in common, and yes, we do a lot together, but we still have our own independent personalities and things we do outside of the relationship. And I support that. I support you, you know. I don't mold it. You know, I support it, who you are.
That's sweet. I love that. Yeah, I think it's important for you to be with somebody that respects your identity. And that's why when I have friendships, it's important for me that they have their own identity, because there are some women out there and their whole identity is being a wife or being a mom. You know what I mean? That's fine too, but that's just not what I click with.
But that's like, that still is your equating who you are by, you know, the role you serve to somebody else.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you're not independently figuring out who you are through you. It's through some other situation or somebody else. You know? Whether it's a husband or a kid or whoever it may be, you know, it's not through you.
Yeah. I think you have to be with somebody that supports you having your own individuality too.
For sure.
There are a lot of people who date who just want their partner to be them.
Yeah.
Right? They want their partner to.
They want to control that.
Yeah. They want to control like every aspect of their
That's a
partner's
red
life.
flag too. You should watch out for with people.
Major
People who are trying to like make you conform to who they are or their lifestyle. You know, your guys' lifestyles should like meld together.
Yeah. That's a good point, because you know, cousin, same person that's dealing with this guy, he goes on and off in their relationship, and recently he was like, you know, I spend so much time doing whatever it is that I want and she still works. I don't know if she wants my lifestyle. Like, why would she need to want your lifestyle? She's allowed to be her own person.
Yeah.
You can be your own person, and then you guys, you know, blend.
Well,
You
that's
don't
somebody
merge,
who's
you
stuck in their
blend.
ways and
Yeah.
is not willing to compromise. You know, and being in a relationship is 80% compromise.
And that's why
You
we're
know?
best friends.
Yeah, like you.
Well, no.
What?
We're not best friends because we compromise.
No. That's not why. But we are best friends. But we do compromise with each other because we love each other. We want to support each other, and we want to, you know, do the things that each other like, or whatever it may be. Whatever the compromise may be, we're more than happy to do it for one another. Yeah.
I know. How exciting is that?
But we are into a lot of the same things. So it's like, it doesn't really feel like we have to compromise on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think we really have to compromise on anything usually.
No.
Just, communication styles is something that we've had to learn about. But beyond that, like, we're good to go. We don't really have, we fight, obviously, and we have disagreements. But I think that what makes our relationship feel easy and what makes a lot of relationships, I think, feel effortless and easy is knowing that my homegirl said the most beautiful thing. She was talking about her man, and he's officially her man now. And she was like, he's really become a soft place to land.
Wow.
I know. I was like,
that.
I've never heard that before. Did you make that up? She said, no, I don't think so. But maybe I did. And I was like, maybe you did. I thought that was.
What does she mean by that? Like, she can be herself?
Just like she's had a lot of hardship in her life. And when you're living in LA, it almost, and especially when you're trying to grind and climb, everything always feels like it's in flux. And so at the end of the day, you don't want to crash into a cement wall. You want a soft place to land. Like, you want somebody that wants to nurture you and help you heal from your day and listen to you talk about your day, or bring you out of your shell.
That's a great way to put
get you out of your head, or just be tender with you, is what I understood her saying. And she was like, he's become a soft place to land. And I thought that was like one of the most beautiful ways I've ever heard somebody describe their relationship.
I love that.
So I'm going to text her and be like, send me an invite to that wedding when you guys get engaged. Because that was so, what a stunning thing to say about your partner.
Yeah, that is. That's very poetic.
A soft place to land.
Yeah.
Because life is hard enough.
I know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Because life is hard. Life is hard enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. It makes complete sense too. You should want that in a partner. You should want somebody who you can feel safe with, and to have somebody that you can completely decompress with.
Yeah. This was a quick one, a good one. Maybe in another episode, we'll continue talking about what red flags we think are in relationships. You guys let us know in the comments what you guys want us to talk about next. What do you really want us to get into? Because we keep it real. No frou-frou shit over here, okay? We keep it super real. So whatever y'all want to hear about.
That's a good episode idea, though. We'll do that. We'll talk about all the different red flags.
Yeah. That's the next one. All right, next episode, guys. We're keying it up.
Let's go. Hot takes, baby.
Hot takes, red flags.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Like we said, we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're excited about everything we got coming. And
we're back with our Crocs. Y'all, I was not a Croc girl for the...
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, just so it's not in the shot.
Yeah, in your camera. Sorry. We're back with our Crocs. Y'all, I was not a Croc girl for the longest. Now I can't stop wearing these shoes.
Yeah.
So join us. Crockyakis.
Join us. The Croc crew.
Ooh, we should get some little Crocs for the mook.
Oh, yeah. We got to get some
little
Crocs
cat
for her.
Crocs. Stop it.
For
How hilarious would that be? Oh, my God.
That's hilarious. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, actually, comment some hot takes or some red flags that you think, about the opposite sex, whatever it may be. And
let us know what you want us to talk about next.
Yeah, because we'll talk about it and we'll give our opinion on it.
And we're going to be real. And you guys are the best. And oh my God, we missed you.
Thank you guys for coming. Peace.